Hello and welcome to the world's most popular podcast, A Star to Steer Her By.
Woo! Fucking kill him!
I am your host of the day, not Richard Dawson.
Oh.
Wow, he is really pissed Richard Dawson isn't
There's
here.
our contestant.
Black Cat is our contestant.
Billy Black.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm also not Richard Dawson. I'm Chris.
Who do you love? You love me, Ames.
Who loves you? And Liz.
Hey, Liz is here.
Hello, Liz.
It's me.
It's always good to have guest star Liz.
Woo.
Because it also
kidnapped
means Caitlin can take the week off.
But why are
She's
we
on the
doing
run.
this game
She's on the
show?
run. No.
Why are we doing this game show intro? Because we're going to be talking about the new film and the old film, The Running Man.
Runnings Man.
The Runnings Men. Yeah.
They do a lot of running.
I don't know. We probably don't need to do a real deep dive on the
But they're
plot.
they're entirely
They're so different.
different.
But we'll
which
get
is
into
the
all of that.
funniest
But
thing.
yes, we are talking about the 1987, I believe.
Yes.
Correct.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, action, satire. I don't know what you'd even classify it.
Yeah.
I guess it
The-
changed wildly in writing edits because they cast Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That makes sense.
Interesting.
But anyway, so we were talking about that. It is a classic. But we were also talking about the much more recent Edgar Wright, and by recent I mean in the last few weeks.
Yep.
Edgar Wright film, The Running Man, which is completely different.
But gave us the excuse to rewatch the old one.
Yeah,
which
so,
we
you
didn't
know.
meaning to do.
Theoretically based on the same source material, some Stephen King something or other.
It's weird, because one was based off a novel by a guy named Richard Bachman, who I've never heard of.
Oh, yeah.
And then the new one was based off the novel by Stephen King.
I can't tell if you're joking
Richard
right now,
Bachman.
Chris.
Oh,
is
so I am.
Stephen
Oh,
King's-
good, okay.
Stephen
Yes.
King's pen name.
Yes, I am well aware.
You were very flat. I was like,
That was good. That was a good deadpan.
yeah,
You
Chris
know,
had mastered the deadpan there.
Acting.
Yeah, so the funniest thing is, I guess, Stephen King did not like the original, which, of course, they changed. There's almost nothing recognizable from the 1987 movie
Really? Interesting.
to his novel. But the most recent one, which follows it almost beat for beat.
Really?
Like, I read the synopsis of the Stephen King book, which he wrote under his pseudonym Richard Bachman, before that got leaked. And it is almost entirely like the same plot.
Interesting.
I think the main differences are, instead of Michael Cera's character hitting the big button and reporting Ben's ass, it's the mom that reports Ben's ass.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the ending is entirely
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
I hope so.
I was kind of wondering, because I've never read the book. I was wondering if, how different were the films? Were any of them at all alike? But apparently it sounds like the new one and the novel are closer.
The new
than
one and the novel are very, very
Interesting.
close, because I guess Edgar Wright really wanted to take another stab at Running Man.
Okay.
It's interesting. I guess they talked to the director of the original recently, and he said he admitted he felt like neither his nor the new one really stuck the landing. And I was like, sweetie, yours didn't stick the takeoff.
The original has, the 1987 has such different, elements of charm to it that... Okay, here's my overall thought. I'm going to go to the overalls now because I think this is part of my thesis for where I stand on these two films, is that as they are so fully different, is that somewhere between the two is the perfect version of this story. Because the 1987 is all satire, and the commentary is very unfocused. But the most recent, the 2025, is not nearly enough satire, and the commentary is way too focused. So what I'm saying is that either of them needed to be a Verhoeven.
Yeah. Well,
So it's funny you say Verhoeven, because one of my notes on the original was that there were many moments. I ended up looking it up, and I was like, was this just trying to be RoboCop?
Right.
But they came out within months of each other, so it's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, I'm sitting there through most of the movie thinking, man, I wish I was watching RoboCop.
It does kind of feel like RoboCop light in the
Yeah.
satire department, but honestly, like some of I don't know. I'm just gonna say this up front. I love that movie. I know it's camp. I know it's not good. I know it's got all kinds of problems.
It's much more fun.
but it's so much fun for
Like-
me. For
like,
me, it's
I
fun.
super missed in the 2025 having all the stalkers or hunters or whichever version of the name you want to call the guys
Yeah.
who track down the running people.
Mm.
None of them had personality
That
at
is
all.
literally one of my first
Dynamo
notes
is my
what-
favorite of
See,
everything.
okay, so here's what's funny. I am the opposite.
Really?
Where I thought the new one was more fun, and the original
Really?
wasn't campy enough.
Really?
I wanted more time with, I like that the stalkers were more unique,
Yeah.
but I feel like we didn't spend enough time with any of them to really enjoy them.
I don't think they needed more than what they got.
Yeah.
Maybe I think the actors maybe just weren't leaning into it. I was left so flat by all the stalkers.
Oh no, but Dynamo. He was
Dynamo is
actually an opera singer.
really?
Yeah.
Jesse,
I wanted-
Jesse Ventura.
I wanted to. Okay, I have a huge problem with that, but we'll get to that.
Is it the wig?
No, that is. Here's my thing. The best part of Original Running Man is Richard Dawson.
Oh,
yeah,
hardcore.
absolutely.
The second best
1000%.
part is Jesse Ventura's terrible toupee. I love how bad it is. I hope it was supposed to be bad, because if not, they fucked up. No, I fucking love his toupee. That's a thing of fucking art.
Yeah.
But no, I was left so cold, because I feel like they never committed to how dumb it was enough for my liking. Like,
I
it just
don't know
felt...
what movie you watched.
Yeah,
Chris.
see, I think
they
him
super
when he
did.
walked in with that plastic armor.
That was great.
That was great.
That, and especially because he was like, "This is it." That was great.
Mhm.
It needed more of that. Like, I don't know. It didn't grab me.
Verhoeven would have nailed it.
He would have.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
that's the thing.
for sure.
I walked in and it was like so many things so close, but it never gelled for me. And I was just, I was left.
Oh,
And
wow.
I went in wanting to fucking love it. I was like, this is going to be a wonderful bit of 80s camp. And I was bummed. I was ready to love it. And I was just like, oh. Also, why is Mick Fleetwood basically himself?
I don't think he's I think he's playing
He's
a character
himself,
named
Mick.
Yeah.
They do spell Mick differently than he
Oh,
spells
do
Mick.
they?
Yeah,
They
he's
do.
M-I-C-K. In the character's M-I-C.
Mhm.
But I remember thinking, why didn't they just hire a real old man? And then,
Yeah.
he has the line about, his stuff getting censored, and it's not wait, are you just yourself?
I've seen that argument made that the Mick character is Mick Fleetwood,
Just
playing
In
himself.
the future.
Yeah.
It's better than when they had Tom Petty play himself in that Kevin Costner.
Oh, I've never seen this.
The
whatever it is.
Postman. Oh,
Tom
No
Petty plays
shit.
himself in The Postman?
he does, but it's the same type of thing where it's obviously Tom Petty, and he's like, and the Kevin Costner character is like, hey, didn't you used to be a musician? And he's like, yeah, but that was a long time ago.
Oh,
but they didn't age up Tom Petty, and it's supposed to be
yeah.
in the future.
They at least aged up Mick.
Like
Fleetwood.
I don't
Poorly,
want to get
but-
into. I don't want to go to the Postman corner, but that movie has a shitload of problems. Not least of which is that it's far enough in the future that people have forgotten that the United States existed,
But
and
Tom Petty's still
but
30.
Tom Petty is still the same age.
That's weird.
Maybe they were all brainwashed.
Yeah,
It's the drugs that pickled him.
yeah.
No, you know what? He fell into a fry hole. He got froze like Futurama.
That's got to be it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that kind of fry hole.
Fry hole.
Um,
I did see that, speaking of Mick Fleetwood, and while I have this note open, because why not, he's the one who basically said, we should put this Star Trek joke in here. When he says, oh, Scott, Commander Spock, you have the con. And it was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because Mick Fleetwood specifically asked to have a Star Trek joke, because he's a big Trekkie, which is why he's later on a TNG episode.
I was gonna ask. He was the one that was a fish, right?
He was a Dantidian. It's
Yeah.
very funny.
Right. That's right. That's.
I
I'll give him
remember
that.
that.
That's great.
You
You'd
cannot see
never
him
recognize
because
him.
he's under a giant fish.
It's not even
costume.
makeup. He's just wearing a head.
Nice.
I will say too, there was another moment I quite liked. Is I let the ending credits run all the way to the end, and if you go to the end, a voiceover starts.
Yes, I have it
Telling
written
about-
down. I transcribed the whole thing in
Oh.
case you guys missed
Oh,
it.
I want to
nice.
hear it.
The Running Man has been brought to you by Breakaway Paramilitary Uniforms,
Nice.
OrthoPure Procreation Pills, and Cadre Cola. It hits the spot. Promotional considerations paid for by Kelton Flamethrowers, Wainwright Electrical Launchers, and Hammond Engaged Chainsaws. Damon Killian's Wardrobe by Chez Antoine, 19th century craftsmanship for the 21st century man. Cadre Trooper and Studio Guard sidearms provided by Colchester, the pistol of patriots. Remember, tickets for the ICS studio tour are always available for Class A citizens in good standing. If you'd like to be a contestant on The Running Man, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to ICS Talent Hunt, care of your local affiliate, and then go out and do something really despicable. I'm Phil Hilton. Good night and take care.
Yeah, that was great.
What a great detail to shove at the end of your movie. That's very funny.
Yeah, no, that was great.
Yeah, one thing I think Verhoeven would have nailed too if we magically just redid this with him is there were a couple times that they mentioned like you get the home game if you if you like guess who's going to be the next person to do something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Verhoeven would show us
how
like
an
ad
works.
of the home game, and I would be so giddy.
Yeah. I
think I didn't even think of Verhoeven, but like the thing I found interesting about 87 Running Man versus 2025 Running Man is like the satire of the times for the 87 one is just all the television industry cynicism, the constant just side references to reruns and the ratings and all of this stuff. And Verhoeven would take that and lean even harder into it to a ridiculous degree.
I do there is something just so because quintessentially 80s of this movie. It's the one thing I'll say, and it's definitely a fault, I think, of the film, but I still love it, is that it has no imagination about the future.
None.
Because it's very much, because it's supposed to take place in the far, far distant future of 2017.
Yes. The book takes place in 2025, which I think is appropriate.
Oh, there you go. So it's supposed to take place in 2017, and they did, like, if you look at other films, even from the 80s, they tried to imagine what the future would look like and the styles, but they were all like evolutions of 80s style. And it's always kind of fun and camp to look at. But this one literally just placed all this 80s stuff.
Yeah.
It did not try to imagine how it would change in any way.
No.
They're just 80s people dressed like 80s people, doing 80s people things.
And 80s people's dances.
And 80s people dances.
It was an Paula Abdul choreographed dance number that was missing like only Scat Cat.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, I think...
Please, MC Scat Cat.
Love that cat.
The thing that looked the closest to futuristic, there is a certain interesting charm to 80s retro-futurism. And Killian's limo...
Oh yeah,
had that like 80s, what the 80s thought the future would look like.
I think it just looked like I saw that and I'm like, no, that's just an 80s limo.
No, it is, but it's also like it was clearly something designed in the 80s in that like vein of this is the future, but also now kind of thing.
80s futurism.
Yeah, it was
like
80s
the
future.
TV antenna that's like a boomerang.
And like there is something we were saying just off air a minute ago that I have a fondness for like the 80s cyberpunk look, and there is something great about 80s retrofuturism. It's a very distinct kind of retrofuturism that I feel like, you've got like 50s retrofuturism, the ray gun gothic, and then there's 80s retrofuturism, which also has a certain chunky charm.
Yeah, meanwhile, the current movies kind of style is just the gritty dystopian that you always see.
It's either the gritty dystopia or like
because it's the people that are on the poor side that are living in. I swear to God, I've seen that Boston house. Even though I think this was filmed mostly in London.
Yeah.
Is that okay? I can see that being stand-in for a Boston neighborhood.
Yeah. And it works because like, man, that does look like my old building. I recognize this floor plan. It's fascinating.
I mean, I remember when I went to London, like I was on this random back street somewhere, and I was like, this could be home. This just looks like a street in Boston I've never been on. Like when you can't see a landmark, London looks a lot like New England.
Wonder why they called it New England.
Seriously.
We'll never know.
But what I found interesting with the new one was like, it didn't change a lot of stuff. The cars were fascinating, the ones we saw.
Yeah, I loved Amelia is her name? Yeah, Amelia's
her little Honda Fit.
Yeah, a little electric car that talks to her.
Well, I also like though in the slum areas, they were like old, like barely held together kit bash things, which were really interesting. But I found it fascinating that it was like they had all this crazy future tech, but apparently most video is still analog.
Well, I also one thing I noticed too is that like there's no internet evidently.
Yeah. There's an interesting like the technology of that world is fascinating. So it's definitely an alt history.
It's definitely, and I feel like
Did they say what year it was ever or no?
I don't think
it had no opening crawl.
Yeah.
My God, we always need that crawl.
Yeah, you need the crawl. No, we don't know what year it is, and we also get the sense though that this is I would put it like an alternate near future.
Yeah.
Because the technology and like the style is not terribly much more advanced, although they do have those flying drone cameras.
Yeah, that's like the most.
Yeah.
That's the fanciest thing they have.
But like everything else just feels dated, right? Like the videotapes are all VHS.
I loved his little personal recorder.
Yep,
Yeah,
that had a little
was-
like little high 8 tape in it.
It was like, again, not to get to retro 50s future, but like that felt like something out of Fallout.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, no internet really, because everything is still TV. And I guess the show, unless you were gonna like reset it as a YouTube style thing.
Yeah.
Because like honestly, here's the thing: the Running Man is real. It exists today, and it's hosted by Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Ah.
You know, like that's where we're at.
Yeah.
So I feel like they kind of had to do this because otherwise you'd just be like, no, that's just like a fucking Mr. Beast skit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a little slightly more violence.
I did like that, with the new one, that it was like go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the old one was like limited to the
Just
game.
contained within a track.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah, because it was also contained with, I think you only had to survive 3 hours, whilst this one's
Yeah.
a full month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
full month.
That was one of the things about the original that confounded me, was like, okay, we're going to locate the game here and also all of our most important infrastructure.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, the new one being more like, the slightly more violent version of Where's Dewey kind of
Wow.
works.
Wow, that's something I forgot all about. Although I
There-
feel like you brought it up before.
There is a David Eggers novel I read a while back called The Circle. Not great. Definitely David Eggers selling out, but what are you going to do? There's also a movie about it that's fine. But there's a whole element where it's about, people in a futuristic society that like are always plugged in, that some of them wear these kind of like little devices around their neck that just broadcasts like whatever they're seeing at all times. So there's absolutely no privacy. And this character is the main character, and her boyfriend is like anti-technology entirely.
Sure.
And he wants to be off the grid as much as possible, and he does something that makes the people want to like find him. And he's trying to hide out, but everyone is trying to film him and find him.
Yeah.
And it's a terrifying moment in this novel.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was one thing I thought I very much liked with the new one, the new Running Man, is that, like, society isn't just complicit as a viewer, but they can also kind of participate by ratting him out.
Yeah, yeah, and that's in the book.
And they're
too.
incentivized
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, that absolutely tracks with
Oh, yeah.
modern competition.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Whether it's like voting for favorite contestants, or this is exactly how it would go.
Yeah.
If we normalize violence enough to make this happen.
Give it 5 more years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna say. I mean, there's a lot of game shows that aren't blood sport, but are
Give it time.
not far
Listen.
off from this type of thing.
I mean, we already have people trying to unironically make Squid Games now, and it's like, guys, did you not see the film?
Yeah, it's
or
like
show?
Squid Game, but without the actual killing.
Was that one show that where like your contestants are like in, I don't know, some jungle or
Naked and
Naked and
Afraid?
Afraid?
No. It's a more recent one where like the contestants out there, and it's their family who's determining when to bring them back.
Oh, yes, I heard about that.
I don't know this one.
And basically, it's how much is it worth it to you?
That
Because of the payout.
that feels like that would have been a commercial in
That's-
fucking RoboCop.
Yeah, I mean,
But no, yes, that's a real show. I forgot about that. That's insane.
the most hideous thing.
Our culture is so broken.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like, and I think that the satire that both films were kind of going for, and I'm assuming the original story as well, where kind of like we're gonna shit on like capitalism gone mad,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna shit on like societal bloodthirst.
Yeah.
And like they
Normalization of violence
Yeah.
and dehumanization.
There was definitely, obviously a lot of, like, Reagan shit in the original, like the president having an agent and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But you see, it was things like that I really enjoyed.
yeah, like there were little
Like
moments I
details
liked, but
of world building things.
like I liked everything around Arnold, and
Oh, but Arnold.
he was, I don't know, he felt flat. Like
Yeah,
even
the
for
very-
Arnold.
Oh.
The very
The-
first scene with him in the chopper, I'm like, is he
Oh,
even
that's painful.
acting? Is
They
he
should
even
have
bothering?
should
And
have
that-
reshot that.
here's a
right?
huge
Yeah.
problem I have is
Mm.
just I don't think they ever figured out who he was in the script, because like it's like, okay, buddy, Arnold, sweetie, you are clearly very important in your dystopian police force. How are you only just noticing now that you're evil? Like, again, it was a short... Like, I get they couldn't spend all the time showing him growing disillusioned, but it would have worked...
Unarmed.
It would have been better if he was like a raw recruit, you know, who's like, I've been propagandized to my whole life. It's my first day on the force. This is exciting.
This is what you want me to do.
Can you
But, like-
imagine him playing the green neck?
It's a terrible idea, but they could have done it. But, like, seeing him as, like, lieutenant... Like, he's in charge. And he's like, wait a minute, but... It's like, I'm sorry, is this your first day? Like, how did you get to this rank without realizing you're evil?
I mean, I guess because it's also, like, after the fact, it's a notorious event, so this is a new low.
Maybe,
that I guess
but...
he wouldn't stoop to.
And again, then throughout the rest of the picture, though, it just does feel like they can't tell... Like, they kind of want him to be this kind of, like... I'm in it for me, but then at the end, I guess maybe I'm in it for more people. But then he just feels so, like, all over the shop. And I'm just like, I never got to like him.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is the rewrites.
Yeah.
Because here's the story.
Ooh.
This was originally slated to be directed by George Cosmatos with Christopher Reeve in the lead role.
Holy shit.
Interesting.
Would have been
That's different.
very different.
Yeah, which would have been a very different movie because, you know, in the novel, it's, you know, he's not a ex-military type
Yeah.
who's forced into the game against his will. He's like in the 2025, he's just an unemployed guy who's doing this to get money for his family.
Yeah.
But you put Arnold in that role because I guess
Yeah.
Reeve couldn't make it. I forget if I have it written anywhere, but I think Reeve had to back down for some reason. And you put Arnold in that role for some reason.
Yeah, as I say, I feel like if Christopher Reeve turns you
Unclear.
down, your next call isn't Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Which is a little bizarre because you can't say, oh, here's a homeless man who's a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How?
I mean, again, the
So they rewrote the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, I guess that shows. Like, again, just speaking of RoboCop, like, call fucking RoboCop.
Yeah.
His name escapes me now, but what's his fucking name?
Jesus, I want
Yeah.
to say Christopher Walken, but that's
No,
not it.
Lance Henriksen.
No.
That's other 80s guy. Son of a bitch.
RoboCop.
We talk about him all the
Well,
time.
yeah,
Constant-
he's on
Peter
Star
Weller.
Trek.
Peter
Yeah, Peter
Weller,
Weller.
excuse me.
That's what it is.
Dr. Peter Weller.
Dr. Peter Weller, yes.
Thank you.
Or, although, Chris Walken maybe would have been interesting.
Oh my.
I'd watch that.
But yeah, so I'm just looking at Arnold's filmography right now, and this really is kind of a transitional Arnold film because prior to this, he was mostly doing.
This is right after Predator.
This is right after Predator, same year they released. But this is also like his other big films before that were Commando, The Terminator, where he had barely any lines. Did he have any lines? No, he had give me your clothes and your bike.
I'll be back.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'll
very
Which
good.
gets referenced in.
Oh, God, that was
Running Man.
dumb.
Yeah, well, because that was his sketch. But like, and then Conan, and like, really, it's all just small stuff. So like, he was prior to this, he was just like the meathead big man that
Yeah.
you would put in the movie to be big and
Did he
manly.
have more fucking zingers in this movie than he
I
did
think-
as Mr. Freeze?
I think
Yes.
this,
Painful.
but they're so good. I love them.
Are they?
I mean, they're
delivered-
horrible, but they're
delivered-
so. I just they
See,
melt my heart.
Again, like, I wanted to love them, but his delivery just felt so
Okay, here's
flat.
here's Jake's favorite, and I'll let you fill in the rest if you remember what you
Oh, of
said
course
because it
I
was
do.
very funny. So the stupidest fucking line that Jake will literally stop and said, "Here comes the line. Hey, Killian, I can't do the voice. Here is Sub-Zero, now Plane Zero."
Oh,
Fuck,
that was
that's my favorite.
terrible.
It was Buzzsaw, now Plane Saw. And I just apply it to everything.
Had that been the follow-up, that would have redeemed the whole picture.
If we just did the whole. What was Dynamo, now Plane Mo.
Regular mode.
The only line of his that I wrote down, aside from the I'll be back. Amber, get out of here! Ah! And it's terrible.
So many syllables.
It was like him and
I think I transcribed
Amber.
it pretty well.
It's like him and Amber were trying to see who could be the worst actor.
She was not great. She did not.
And then
do a
they
great
kiss
job.
out of nowhere at the
Yeah,
end.
Because you
That's
have
so
to have a love
fucking-
interest,
yeah, it's like-
apparently.
but
Yeah.
they didn't set up any
No.
romance between them. Like
At all.
he kidnapped her, she did not like him, and then she was forced to play the game with him.
Also,
He tied her to a Bowflex.
there
Yes.
was like a lot of weird rape references, and where did she put that tape? That was an uncomfortable
That was
joke.
definitely
She
in
made a
her-
reference to it.
Yeah, I
but
know.
yeah.
We know.
I mean, it was
It's
definitely
weird. Didn't
in
love that.
Some location.
It was very, very strange.
Like, yeah, but like, what a weird thing for Arnold to bring
The
up.
biggest ripoff in the whole fucking picture, though, and this I think is really what killed it, we never actually get a proper Ventura-Arnold fight. He
That's
just
true.
fights the deep fake.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, because it felt like that's where they're setting up the whole time. There's going to be a huge fucking climactic fight between, what was his name in the Captain America?
Captain Freedom.
Captain Freedom and Arnold. And, like, I thought, oh, okay, yeah, they set up this cage and he kills the stuntman. They'll have the real fight in the cage. Like, we never see Ventura again after the cage fight, I think.
No.
I don't think we do.
And it's like, what?
Because he rage quits.
What the hell is going on here? Like, what?
Yeah, see, I thought, in my memory, because I haven't seen this movie in several years, but my memory was that at the end, when Killian is, like, before he gets thrown down the pit,
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be Jesse Ventura that, like, turns his back on him. You know, like, he's like, okay, get him, get him. And then Jesse Ventura's like, no.
Like, even if that was the case, like, if he was there instead of that
Sven,
security guard.
Sven.
Who's in a bunch of Schwarzenegger movies. Must
He
be
is,
a
and weirdly enough,
bodybuilding buddy.
He's also in a terrible Jesse Ventura movie called Abraxas, which I've only heard of because Riff Tracks did it.
I do not know.
Yeah, no, he's the bad guy, I think.
I don't know. I did adore how Killian just exploded.
For no reason. That
was
was
very
great.
fun.
Yeah.
That was good.
Like Richard Dawson
He
nails
it.
Yeah,
Why
he
is
does.
he in more movies?
I don't
He's so
know.
good.
It's funny because I was telling Caitlin he was in it, and she was like, "Oh, did they? Was he drunk through all of it?" And I was
Well,
like,
yes.
I was
But
like, well, there is one scene where he's a little slurry. I'm like, "Oh, that was a post-lunch filming."
Oh no.
Oh, guys, the producers originally wanted Chuck Woolery, but he was unavailable.
Richard,
And-
he wouldn't have been as good.
no, Richard
And-
Dawson just
and
has...
Richard Dawson went whole ham.
Yeah, and Burt Reynolds was offered the role, but turned it down because he would have been billed last, which I think is bullshit because the Killian character is so memorable. Is like the memorable one.
Burt Reynolds is a fine actor, but I don't know if I buy him as Killian. It's one of those things where it's like sometimes you're like you can't imagine somebody else because you just have seen like sometimes you can see a thing and like this person was great, but this person also would have been great. This person I just can't picture anyone except Richard Dawson.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
maybe
I could see Burt Reynolds in Jesse Ventura's role, maybe.
Maybe.
Hmm.
Like I think it really helped that it was an actual game show host.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he knows how to work a crowd.
Yeah, like
that's his job.
maybe the only other person who maybe could have pulled it off, and even this I don't think would have been as good because there's a different quality to him, is
Ben
Bob
Glee.
Barker.
Oh, Bob Barker.
Oh, yeah. I don't know that Bob Barker would have worked.
I don't think
No,
he would.
I don't think he can go as evil.
I was saying I don't think he'd be willing to play an evil version of himself.
Yeah. Richard, the introductory scene of him walking in and him reassuring the janitor.
Yeah.
And then turning around and just be like, get him the fuck out of here. Like, I was just like, this is beautiful, and I wonder if he's drawing on someone he
Oh,
knows.
definitely. I think there were people that were
I mean,
saying
if
like
it's in Southern, I don't know.
we've seen these moments of darkness in Dawson before. He gets to play them now. Like I love the moment where Captain Freedom is giving some like behind the scenes like look at here we are in the locker room, and Killian just cuts him off and just keeps going with the show. It's like fuck you. We're not gonna deal with your shit.
It was actually with the new one where they kind of split Killian into two characters. Now, is that how it was in the novel? That's
Yes.
the creator and the host. Okay, so it's that the original merged people. This
Yeah, and Arnold was the one that suggested bringing Dawson in when they couldn't get Woolery. Or
that was a
Reynolds.
really good call by
Yeah.
Arnold.
Yeah, well, they were friends, so.
Really,
That figures.
I would love to be a fly on the wall at an '80s party with those two.
Oh my god.
I did love. I can't think of his name right now, but the new host is terrific. He was really good.
Oh,
That is
Coleman
Domingo.
Yeah,
Thank
Coleman
you.
Domingo.
I
Yeah, I
looked
liked
him
him.
up.
I liked
He
his
was great.
energy.
He was the one I was most interested to see in
Yeah,
this.
he almost like could have approached, but thankfully didn't go too far. In the could have been like a Ruby Rod.
Yeah, yeah. He
Ruby Rod or Rudy Rod?
Ruby Rod.
Ruby Rod.
Ruby.
Yeah.
yeah, no, he was terrific.
Yeah, I think you were mentioning like you had more fun with the 2025.
I did.
And I had more fun with the 1987. I didn't have any fun in 2025 until Michael Cera showed up.
Yeah.
And then
He
felt,
was terrific.
And then it felt like the right kind of satire to
So,
me.
yeah,
Because
I
he
think-
was bonkers.
It felt more 80s.
And it felt more and great because there
Yeah.
was nothing else in this movie except for like a couple like scene transitions maybe
Yeah.
that made me think this was an Edgar Wright.
I did write that. I felt like it lacked some of Edgar Wright's signature like
Style.
style,
Yeah.
like the zooms and
Yeah,
like,
the reveal
yeah.
cuts. The reveal cuts are my
Smash
favorite
cuts,
things he
yeah.
does.
Yeah, exactly. So like it definitely went. If I had the very same feeling about Last Night in Soho, where it just didn't feel very Edgar Wrighty.
Did I see
I
that
haven't
one?
seen that
We
one.
watched that one together.
Which
that was
one is that?
that was one with Oh, alien face girl, very very popular. She was in
Tilda Swinton.
The Menu.
The Menu. Oh,
Oh.
God, do I know her name? Anya
Oh,
Taylor-Joy?
Anya
Queen's Gambit
Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in.
Oh, wait.
Anya Taylor-Joy. Yeah.
My brain is finding it, but I'm going to guess you're right. Is it the one that's like a sequel to some other movie?
No.
Okay, I'm not
You're
thinking.
thinking of Doctor Sleep.
I'm not thinking of Doctor Sleep. I'm thinking of a different movie.
Yeah.
But Doctor Sleep is also good.
No, but anyway, yeah, but it's a movie. It's fine. It's a fine movie. It's not bad. It's just not very Edgar Wrighty. I had kind of the same idea about this one, but I would say like I was enjoying it. I thought for whatever reason, the very early parts of the film with the wife and the daughter, did not click for me. Like,
No?
I did not like the.
Well, Glen Powell is too ripped to be a poor man.
I also think maybe it's just me. I did not find his acting to be
He
particularly
was only
compelling.
angry. I mean, that's kind of the writing of the character. Is you have one trait and it is angry.
He filled the slot. They needed
Do you want to know who else they were considering?
just beefy white guy.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling, Chris
No.
Evans,
No.
Chris Hemsworth, all the same fucking type.
Yeah.
And I feel like if this is a man who's like got his fingernails in like just above dying of hunger, he should be a scrawnier dude.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but then he wouldn't have qualified for the Running Man.
Yeah.
Well, the other scrawny guy qualified. For
Yeah,
the
but he
Running
was
Man.
he was the
We learned that
first
He was the
one.
loser type.
Yeah. I guess they established that he'd like done a lot of physical labor before, so
You
he
don't
hadn't
get
had.
that. You don't get those abs from physical labor. You get those abs by going to the gym.
I did like that, and I did.
Well, maybe he just
you
does
know,
body weight
Maybe.
workout.
On
Well,
sort
his
of the
daughter's
Edgar
dying.
Wright front, I did enjoy the cuts in the sort of training montage where he
Oh,
did
yeah.
a thing in the training room, but then it cut to like him
Yeah.
doing a similar
Showing
thing.
how he had this
The
experience.
Slumdog Millionaire sort
Yeah.
of background
Exactly.
story.
There was one weird thing that they only did once and then never again that I noticed, and that was when he was being angry, and not Dawson, Killian. Killian's telling him the contract, and he brings up his wife, and he, in his mind, smashes Killian's face on the table,
yeah.
and then we see, oh no, that was just his imagination, and we never see him do an imagination thing ever again.
Well, we saw the dream.
But that's a dream.
The dream fake out.
That's a dream, not an imagination.
No, that yeah, that's fair. But
Yeah.
like,
Rule of threes, Edgar. Get it right.
Edgar's usually great at this shit.
That's what I thought. That's what I kind of liked though with this Richards was like he was consistent. You know, all right, his main thing, like he's a guy and like you kind of sympathize with him because he wound up in a shitty situation because he kept trying to do the right thing at work. But also like he does have anger issues that he is clearly dealing with poorly. So like he's not perfect, he is flawed, and at the end he's kind of like realized I got myself into this mess, and it's like yes and no, you know, I mean your society does fucking suck. But so I think the fact that it felt a little more like he's not a perfect dude.
he's a human being.
Yeah, whereas like with Arnold it was like I didn't know what they wanted me to feel about him.
Yeah, I don't think he's
an
wrote
action
a
figure.
character. Yeah, he's exactly.
Yeah.
He's an
Pose
action
him,
figure.
put him in these scenarios.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
can see a
definitely
line.
I liked his Richards a lot more. It would have been nice again, yes, if the hunters were more colorful and unique. Because at the end it was like Lee Pace and his wonderful mask, blonde guy, and other
And three
people.
other dudes.
Guys.
Yeah, I don't think they didn't need to be cartoon characters like the
No, but
like
give
the
them
80s movies.
personality.
But yeah, a little personality. I wish we had spent a little more time. I don't know. I feel like there was some pacing issues maybe. Like I agree, my enjoyment of this film definitely peaked at Michael Cera's section, and then it took a hard dive for me.
Really
Like,
did
I
it with
thought
the
that-
Amelia stuff or what?
I think
Yeah.
I think the movie just ground to a halt. I thought that Amelia came out of left field.
it felt like you were being held hostage.
Yeah,
It did. You know, it's funny because again, I didn't realize this was closer to the book, but when that showed up, I was like, are they just having him take her hostage because there was a hostage scene in the original?
Nope, it's from the book.
Yeah, okay.
And like, one thing that the original, I would say, did better was introduce the hostage becomes companion
With
helps-
Amber?
Yeah.
In neither case did I fully buy it.
I don't buy it either, but I don't know. I just felt like having
that
having her
match-
show up in the third act
Is a little weird.
and then become just very, very important to the
Well,
plot.
That's a Stephen King
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm
the other
not-
fascinating thing I know I read about the Stephen King book, he wrote it in a week.
Well, yeah,
He said-
was Stephen
He
King.
said,
Yeah,
I was
they-
a very angry man, and I wanted to like play with this idea, and he wrote it in a fucking week.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of blow in the 80s. Yeah, I will agree that, like, speaking as someone who's enjoying the film a lot, like, it definitely, though, does, like, the whole sequence with Sarah is definitely, like, the climax of the picture, but then there's more picture.
Yeah, I really think it could have used a big edit, especially at the end.
Yeah, what did you guys think at the end?
I thought it was...
There was too much denouement, I thought.
There was... perfect ending for me. Well, not perfect, but best ending for me would have been ending with... What's his name's... The prophet? No, the apostle?
Okay, yeah. The conspiracy theory.
Yeah, and with
YouTube
his
channel.
video being like, did he live?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter because the public thinks he did.
I
Cut to
fucking
credits.
hate it. Okay, this. Thank you for bringing up.
You're welcome.
I hate when movies end the movie by just having a man on the screen yell at you the ending of the movie.
I mean, that's fair.
But don't worry, there was more ending in this movie after that.
And the problem that I have with it, one of the big problems is that the way that, this is it's a show, not a tell, is the whole, the escape pod business where we're just told, there was a secret escape pod on this.
Yeah,
on
we
this
know how many
plane.
bathrooms are on this thing throughout the whole movie.
But we don't know about the
That actually, I kind of did enjoy that.
I
Does
like
it
that they
count
see
as a
that that became a
bathroom?
plot. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
well, why wouldn't it,
Escape toilet.
I wish they had laid that earlier and then not just had the guy, the apostle, tell us about it. Just leave it as an exercise for the audience to be like, oh yeah, right, there was the trivia question about the thing.
Like again, I think I would have preferred a more ambiguous ending to him.
To him being
alive or not.
Yeah.
Ben being alive.
And
Yeah.
not answer the question as to whether or not his family was even alive. Leave that up in the air.
Yeah, and I think you would have liked the book better because the ending of the book was he crashes into the network. Everyone dies.
Oh wow!
The end.
That's a much more fitting ending for this film.
From what I understand, I think I heard this on Weekly Planet, perhaps. Crashing planes into buildings in movies is no longer really like
I was going to say I can see
thing to do.
I can see why you can't do that still. It still hasn't been long enough.
Yeah, but he could have done. Maybe didn't do it. Needed a plane.
Yeah, exactly. They could have changed it with something else.
He could have suicide bombed the building, but
Oh,
that would be
God.
just as bad.
Yeah,
it wouldn't work either.
Yeah, that it's tricky. You
And
can't
then recreating the '87 version with the mass shooting.
Oh, you jump into Sub-Zero Zamboni.
Oh, God.
Perfect.
Oh,
sorry, regular Zero.
If he'd had a Zamboni,
Zero.
that would have been amazing.
See, I liked Sub-Zero a lot because he was a hockey player and that was very funny.
I mean, that's like I feel like he was the one they did the most with.
Yeah, I think. They did the most. I felt like they did the most with Dynamo.
Dynamo was my favorite, and because I'd read this ahead of time, knowing that Erland Van Lith was himself a classical trained
that's actually pretty
opera
great.
singer,
That's
which
amazing.
is fascinating. It's also so fucking devastating. Because, 2 months before this film released, he died of a random heart attack.
Oh my god.
At 34!
Oh no.
God damn.
That sucks.
To be fair, he didn't look like the healthiest of men.
No, but I liked his character a lot. I actually kind of wish, the one thing I wish about his character, because, he was the one that was spared. Because, you don't kill a helpless man.
Yeah.
That when he comes after Amber at the end, maybe you learn something?
That's what I was kind of hoping for.
I was expecting,
Yeah,
you
the rapey
saved me.
bit.
Yeah.
Where, suddenly he's got his pants
Suddenly
down.
it's like, okay, I liked Dynamo a second ago, and now...
now
no.
I don't like Dynamo
see,
anymore.
that's the better picture, is we do get the, Arnold Ventura fight,
Mhm.
and maybe it looks like Ventura's actually about to win, and then fucking Dino zaps him. And he's just kind of nods at Arnold and walks away.
I'd like that.
But yeah, it just
Yeah,
feels like they had him get spared, but learn nothing, and also he's a rapist.
Yeah. It's hard to come back from that.
Yeah, no, you don't. Did love Lee Pace, though.
Yeah, Lee
Yeah,
Pace is
I did not
great.
realize he was in the movie, to be honest.
So
I had
no idea.
forgotten he was in the movie because they reveal him
Underutilized
so late.
because of the mask.
So that thing is, I had not been paying, literally the first I knew this was even happening was they had a trailer with Superman. And I was like, okay, that looks kind of interesting. Maybe I'll go see it. And then you said we're going to do it for the show, so I look it up. And that is how I found out it was Edgar Wright.
Mm.
And I noticed Lee Pace in the cast list. I was like, Lee Pace? I didn't see him in the trailer. And then when his character shows up and I hear him, I was like, there he is.
The voice gets him every
In the
time.
build, he's so tall.
He is.
He's very tall.
6'5".
But he was great. Although, I don't know, maybe... I was like, okay, so he was obviously the near winner of season 1, right? Right? To me, that felt very obvious, but maybe that was just me.
Yeah, I think it was you. I didn't pick
Yeah,
up
I didn't
on
pick it up either. But and then like
well, they didn't seed it at all, but they kept talking about like
I mean, they kept talking. They kept
the guy who
referring the
nearly
record.
won season 1, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, that's gonna be Lee Pace.
I just wish that they had done more with the character other than just have him be like a menace until that
yeah, that's
point.
fair.
Where like, you know, if they had a scene with him and Killian maybe, where Killian's like, "You remember where you'd be if I didn't?"
Yeah.
Or something.
How do they show up wherever they need to be in 7 minutes flat?
Super jets.
Well, they gave Running Man
Stealth jet?
a wristband with a tracker on it, with a GPS or something.
Well, you know, they had the DNA sniffers everywhere.
Yeah, the DNA. But like they literally they could have very just easily put a bug in that wristband.
Yeah, but
And so they'll stop at that.
I was expecting Michael Cera to be like, take that fucking thing off!
Yeah.
As soon as they put that on at the beginning, like, oh, that's going to be the thing, is that they're just tracking him through that anyway. But no, that never.
Because like the whole thing, is going to be rigged from the start.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know it's rigged already.
Yeah.
The DNA sniffers, again, just felt like not necessary when they could just be like, they got a tracker in him.
Yeah, or like anything else in his pack.
Yeah. Oh,
because
yeah.
because there's equipment that he's required to bring with him
Yeah.
to check in.
Oh, that was something that the check-ins. I felt like he just stopped doing that at a point.
Yes.
Like Michael Cera was like,
yeah.
"We're going to pre-record all your tapes." I'm like, "Oh, that's very smart." But then Michael Cera dies.
Yeah, I think at that point he's just like, well, fuck that then.
So did he just stop the tapes?
I think so. I think he knew at that point
And
there
then
was no
But
point.
then he lost right? He doesn't win anymore.
I mean, I think by that point he knew he wasn't winning.
I think they just stopped paying you like the next increment.
That's
if
what
you
they
stopped
said,
doing
but they didn't
them.
make it very clear.
But they still
that
try to
that's
kill
what
you.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think he left that last tape with you mail it, but like by that point he knew he wasn't getting more money. He was just like, at this point he is just living for revenge.
So we don't think he actually won the money, despite
no.
killing all the hunters.
So many.
So it seems like it's survive 30 days or kill the hunters. Is that the
Is
that the rules?
I think it's both. I think you still have to make 30 days even if you killed all the hunters. Because there's still the regular police and the public.
That's true.
2 children with flamethrowers, which I had assumed was kind of a nod to like all the old hunters, because there's like the duo, which made me think of Dynamo and Buzzsaw, but they had flamethrowers like not pyro, fireball.
Oh, I was thinking more of like the Kyle Rittenhouse type extremist.
A little
like,
bit of that too.
Kids.
God, it was satisfying when Tim got it.
Tim. Oh, Tim.
The loser.
The loser guy.
Oh.
Yeah,
who
he
was not even playing.
When they introduced him, I leaned over to you, Liz, and went, "Oh, I'm going to very much enjoy watching his death."
I did kind of. I can't remember the character's name, but the other runner.
She was fun.
She was fun.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we had a little more with her. That
Yeah.
like, maybe she teamed up with Ben for a while.
I was
'cause
kind
they
of
grew
half
up near each other.
expecting it, maybe, because like she was sort of the Yaphet Kodo almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not.
She was
I get
the
why-
same name.
Oh, she was
Yeah.
okay.
They were both Laughlin.
Yeah.
That was the problem. Is I'll admit with both films, like aside from Richards, I couldn't remember anyone's name. So it was like the original became Arnold, Yaphet Kodo, Nerd Guy,
Weiss.
Songstress.
Weiss.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Songstress and
Richard
Dawson. It's funny, like with Killian and Richards, I could remember their names, but they were just Arnold and Dawson. And then with this one, it was okay, Richards and Girlface and
I know they
Loser.
they said like, the leader of the hunters.
Corporal
And I missed it
something.
every fucking time.
McCone sounds right.
Because it was dumb. So like that's like I think it's McCone.
I was sitting there going, okay, so Lee Pace. Michael
Cera.
Did they ever say his name?
Yes, because
Yeah.
our friend from Boston had to give
Right.
His name. And there's a
Richard's
dress in
slip.
Derry, Maine.
Yes.
His name is Elton Parakis.
Okay.
Or Parakis, perhaps.
Parakis, I think, sounds right. And
And
like,
his
again,
absolutely insane mother, who was
Yes.
was
Yeah.
very fun.
Yeah.
And
He's a
felt
lot
very
of fun.
Stephen King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very Stephen King, and like
Very. Yeah.
the most, the fight scene in the house with them, when all the
The full Home Alone.
Yes.
was very like that felt very Edgar Wright to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like and Michael Cera feels very well, like
He was having the time of his life.
Yeah.
Like, this guy has been waiting for this since his father died, and it shows.
yeah. But he got too
Oh,
cocky.
not Michael Cera, but the character.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Michael Cera was having the time of his life
I mean,
playing.
we
but
don't know Michael Cera.
He was getting it through that, like, this is the character has been waiting for this moment.
Yeah.
Did you say crawling with goons? Let me call them for us.
Yes.
Smash that like button. Smash that report button. Oh, Chris broke
Well,
somehow.
you
Wasn't
did it.
that-
You're the one.
Wasn't
you're the one
that
rubbing this
funny?
Oh, yes, it was.
I did enjoy a good amount of the world building that they did.
Yeah.
I like the little details, like the Arnold on the money.
Yep, that was
Yeah,
good.
That was a good little
That's a
sight
good little
gag.
cameo.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I loved the other types of game shows that they had, which makes it fucking insane that they all have the same vetting process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, are you going to be running on the treadmill when we shout trivia questions at you game? Like fucking Bother Guts from Black Mirror? Or are you going to be on the Running Man and have a whole month that you need to commit to?
But here's the thing. How do they have a show on their network that is a man answering trivia questions in a giant hamster wheel, and it's not called The Running Man?
The Romping Man.
The Running Man had already started by then.
And they're
So-
like, shit, they got it.
Yeah, the Running Man, like,
It
as
should have been called, like, The Hunted, or Hunters, or
Well, it's with
Prey.
It was like that in the novel. So, but as a game show concept is also, how is it the most like beloved show by these masses? Because you can only watch the bits of it that the drone cameras pick up, and that the people or that the hunted or the running people mail in. Like, how is that a show?
I mean, I say that about so many very popular shows now, so I'm the wrong
Like
person
what?
to ask. I don't know, I just feel like, well, I don't mean that format, but I just mean like sometimes I'm like, why is reality television popular? I don't get it. I imagine there is a lot of just Bobby T hyping shit up and
Yeah, it's
replaying clips,
yeah,
highlights.
showing you the letter of the day and
Yeah.
talking about it for a half an hour slot. That's not a show.
But
I
they
mean,
also...
it's amazing
Maybe
what people
also
will
following
watch.
the hunters wherever the hell they are.
Yeah.
So they also, at the end, similar to what they do in the Arnie movie, is they deep fake
Yeah.
Richard's saying, "I'm gonna kill you all!"
Yeah,
which people were definitely like crediting, saying like, "Wow, you guys called deep faking.
Yeah,
Good
that
job."
that was in my notes. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
well, they predicted deepfake. Well done.
But like, yeah, but in the original it was, Arnold, like they did the fight between
Yeah.
Arnold and Captain Freedom, and also like the selective editing of the attack on Bakersfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in this one it's the plane crash. But that's another thing. Like, if they had the ability to do these deepfakes the whole time, why only pull it out right now?
Well, they try to kind of address that because at some point,
Yeah.
Richards does say, "Why don't you just fake the whole show?" And Thanos is all, humans had
human
that
element.
spark,
Yeah.
which I feel like is often like in science fiction. I feel like that comes up a lot. It's like, why not just use this or that? It's like, humans though. Oh.
Yeah, humans are spontaneous in a way that no one could ever think of.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
he jumps into a sewer and gets away. Fucking what?
Those poor rats.
I loved the rats.
Oh no, the
No, when they were on
rats.
fire though, one was running on fire. Like, no, it's like when that one ant dives into the water
Oh, yeah.
in Two Towers. It's like, just get in the water, rat, you'll be fine. Little singed, but
I do find it interesting, like comparing the two and like looking at what the satire focuses on, what the cynicism is. 87 is the TV entertainment industry, like, which, I mean, that coincides with the rise of like cable television and when like the height of network TV, and then today it's surveillance.
Corporations that own everything.
I mean, that's arguably both because of the Reagan era, but just in different flavors.
Yeah, the covering up the fact that all these plants are giving kids cancer.
Yeah.
Some of it, I think, was just stated too outright. Was, I think, where I think the 2025 didn't have that nuance. That
I don't know if we're allowed to have that kind of nuance anymore in a
that
in
thing is like,
blockbuster.
I frequently complain about a lack of nuance and commentary, but then I look at real people in the real world, and people are stupid.
Oh yeah, they don't get if there's nuance.
Like, it's like, oh, you actually do kind of have to sometimes spoon feed people.
Yeah,
this is sad.
I totally had forgotten about the sick kid plot that just, not even his sick kid, but
the sick kid in Boston.
The sick kid in Boston, where it's just like, that felt very much like an underbaked sort of side plot.
It was like, it's interesting because like Richards is sort of aware of how fucked up his world is, but even he doesn't know the full extent.
Yeah,
which is an interesting thing, and
it makes sense because the whole world is one that's full. It's Sinclair Media like taken over. You know, it's all misinformation.
So it's there for that purpose, but it does then feel like, well, we're done with this now.
And you know, the network is basically the bread and circuses, right?
Yeah,
it's
the episode of the original series.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Sun.
I think. Well, it's interesting. You were saying, the original, it felt like it was kind of unfocused.
Yeah.
In a way, and this one it's very focused. And I think the way I described it to somebody was, this one it's not at all subtle. And in the original, it felt like babies first mad at the government.
Yeah.
Because it was just kind of all over the place. Like, you're not wrong, but kind of. Let's narrow that beam a little. And again, the fact that I'm supposed to sympathize with the original Richards, who was not likable.
Yeah, I liked Yaphet Kotto much better.
He was great.
Yeah.
I'd rather he'd been the running man.
I was more excited to see that the explicitly according to role names in the credits in the original movie, the betting scenes were in the barrio. So like, oh look, that's where the Hispanics are. Yeah, okay.
Oh, and I will say, I also love the little old lady saying "bad motherfucker."
Oh, one mean motherfucker.
What's great about her, because I've bitched about this before, that's a woman who swears in real life.
Yeah.
You can always tell when an actor doesn't swear in real life, because when they have to swear in a show or a film.
I bet you they had made that part of her audition.
Yeah.
Say the line. Oh yeah, you're fine. You can do it.
And that was great too. It's like, I can pick who I want, and I'm picking Richards. Like, she was great, loved her.
Yeah.
People betting on that was fun. It was weird though. Like, I feel like the guys running the gambling were a little too happy at the end. It's like, guys, you just lost so much money because he won.
Well, they're thinking the long game.
Yeah,
because they're thinking,
so many shoot bucks.
Do they know that they're going to offer him a show?
Yeah.
Random little note because it's in front of me on my screen. This predates American Gladiators, and I hear that one of the producers, when they were pitching the show, showed them clips from The Running Man and told the network, "We're going to do this, but without the murdering part," and they got it.
Wow. Networks really do. They want to make The Running Man real.
Like, if they could make them so much money, they would do it.
I am shocked at this point that legitimately we are at the point where eventually one of them, probably CBS, because Paramount is now run by Nazis, is just going to buy an oil rig in international waters, film an actual murder show there, and say, you can't touch us. And everyone's going to go, well, I mean, there is international law, but they're going to get shouted down, and it will become the top-rated fucking show in the country.
And it'll be controversial, it gets headlines and gets ratings and views.
Yeah, American Gladiator is 1989, by the way.
Yeah.
Wow.
For some reason, I thought it was earlier than that.
So did I. That's shocking.
It feels very 80s.
It does. It feels like it should be more like peak 80s, not tail end 80s.
I guess the 80s really did last until like 1993.
It did.
I mean, the early 90s were absolutely like a bridge from the 80s.
Yeah, they were.
Like Clinton killed the 80s.
So much spandex.
The early 90s was still, really right up to the mid 90s. Just what an aesthetic nightmare. Everything was ugly.
Yeah, I also feel like the 1987 film, they must have ADR'd every single
film. Oh yeah, so much of the ADR was bad.
It was so bad.
Yeah, they must have just had really poor on-site.
There was also one line, which of the characters was clearly speaking a line, but you couldn't hear what the line was because they muted it.
Yeah.
Was it Dynamo? I forget.
Can't remember. I think it was when they were wandering through the rubble at some point.
And one of them is looming, and he's speaking, and there's no voice.
Yeah, I forgot about that, but yes, I remember that. I noticed it at the time. I was like, what?
Yeah, no, it was the audio in the first film must have been really terrible.
Yeah,
they had to just record all of it again.
Yeah.
And I guess in an action movie with lots of practical effects, that's bound to happen.
Also, yeah, and I don't know where they were shooting a lot of the game grid scenes, if those are just on a soundstage or what.
Yeah, it was just actually Detroit.
Yeah, well, it did feel very much like the game grid was like the ruins of old Los Angeles.
Yeah, that was probably the implication, certainly.
Man, I had the worst memory of this movie because I have actually a really good memory of this movie, but there was something that I totally misunderstood when I was a kid.
Yeah. That
I finally realized that I was wrong for my whole life. And it's this very small detail.
Still,
the scene when they're when they're first trying to escape before he gets captured again, and they're going to the airport, and they're on the bus to the terminal. I thought my whole life that they were on a plane. and that that was like in the future planes are like buses and they have the little hanging thing that you hold on to. Like that's like, and I always thought that was like a great piece of satire. It's like, oh yeah, air travel has gotten so shitty that it's just like being on a city bus.
It's just any other transit.
And then I realized, and then this is the first time watching that movie where I realized, oh no, they were just on a bus.
That actually, that would be terrific satire though. Because I mean, here's basically, if not for safety regulations, airlines would definitely do that.
Yeah, right.
And there was that thing from like a year or so ago that was showing these insane basically standing seats where you can stack a bunch of people in. And they were like, oh yeah, safety regulations won't allow that. But now they're potentially going to change the regulations so they can have those.
Yeah, see, every previous time that I watched this movie, I thought that scene where they're on the bus was them on the plane to Hawaii.
No, and that's fair. And again, that would totally fit with the tone of the picture.
And I have to point out,
where did you think he got captured then?
In Hawaii. I thought they got captured getting off the plane. And then he escapes onto the tarmac, which I will say, I couldn't help but notice that the tarmac, there were 0 planes at this airport. If you look in the background, it's like they must have
maybe that's why you thought the buses were planes.
They must have just filmed this at some place that looked vaguely like an airport, and they did have a jet bridge,
or it was like a private airport that they just were able to close down for a day.
But they couldn't have dragged some planes in just to be in the background. There were 0 planes.
This movie didn't have a ton of money, and most of it went to Arnold's salary.
Or maybe they were like, oh, if we use planes, then people will know it's the 80s because they won't be future planes. It was like, you didn't do that with the limo. But yeah, I couldn't help but notice there were 0 planes, and I was actually a little disappointed that my misrecollection of the bus.
Your version is so much better.
I think it is. I think it should have been the airplane.
Because again, that would have fit.
Yeah.
So the product placement.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you have a note, but go.
It just came to mind. Something in the last bit reminded me. Liquid Death being I'm like, okay, that's the perfect product title to include as a sponsor.
But the original had product placement too. Much less because you see, it's. Which way was it? Hold on, it's in my notes. Each one had a distinct shoe. It was Adidas in the original and Puma in the new ones.
Yeah, and their jumpsuits were also Adidas, I noticed.
Yes, good point. But I'm just and this just shows how fucking either oblivious or not giving a fuck corporations are. That's hi, I'm making a movie about how corporations destroyed everything. Would you like to be product placed in this? And they went, yes!
Well, no, they heard the product placement.
Right,
and
exactly.
That's all they need. They're not shitting on their product. They're actually extolling the product.
I mean, I'm sure they did have to get cleared and know where it's placed and everything. And I'm sure their bare minimum condition was just
don't show our product doing something bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, imagine being
it's on the heroes. That's fine.
The implication, though, of it all is
that they're a sponsor of the show.
We are okay with this society, and it's Liquid Death is explicitly, a sponsor of the Running Man. And it's it's not...
I can see, at least I can see Liquid Death doing that because that whole company, their brand is cynical.
Sure.
It's a very cynical brand.
I know very little about them, so that's
they had to rename they had an Arnold Palmer drink. You know about this?
Oh, I may have heard about
Armless
that,
Palmer.
Yeah.
And then Arnold Palmer's family or estate or something got mad at them.
Oh, that's a shame. That is a great title.
So they renamed it to Dead Billionaire.
Nice. Okay, so that I kind of get.
Yeah.
But the others like Puma or there was so much Johnny Walker, and it was just guys, you really want to be associated with? Okay, that's fascinating, you fucking weirdos.
Well, they're expecting because we're spoon feeding the crowd what the moral is anyway, so they're not thinking people are going to associate my brand with this because the consumers are morons.
Yeah,
it's so weird because that is the one thing that normally brands get really hung up on is what they're associated with. So it's so weird to me that this is something they again, except maybe Liquid Death who knew what they were doing.
Liquid Death totally knew what they were doing. I have no doubt of that.
It's fascinating.
I mean, I wonder how much of it. I also wonder if it's something that Edgar Wright's people sold to them. It's no, but they're you're not going to see a villain using this. It's going to be on your tractor's going to be on the hero. Also, this really doesn't indicate anything other than your product continues to exist in the future.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like how what is it? Naughty Dog is making some kind of super future space game, and the hero flies a Porsche spaceship. But yeah, no, that really blew my mind. It's like, how strange. Like, okay.
I buy it entirely. Like,
Oh yeah, no, I
they're
buy
getting their product name out there. No publicity is bad publicity.
No, I know, and it still strikes me as weird that people think that. But it probably isn't. It's so I don't.
I mean, we're like stormtroopers are like just an aesthetic.
That's true. The less said about that, the better. That's the thing, is like, they don't get it, some of these companies. I'm like, look, I come from a long line of people that hold grudges. I will never buy Downey because I hate their ads that much. It's like, you remember their name? Yeah, and I remember to not fucking buy them.
That's Snuggle, right? That's Snuggle, the little bear.
The bear? Yeah.
Maybe. I just know.
Fuck that bear.
I just know I hate a lot of their ads, so.
And you're not gonna buy Liquid Death now, Chris?
Liquid Death is so good.
What is liquid?
It's
like flavored water.
It's seltzer water, but like the
is it hard seltzer or just seltzer?
No,
Regular.
it is regular, but the
energy seltzer.
But their whole selling point is that the branding, the look of it, is an aesthetic that you could have instead of drinking an alcoholic drink. You can get that at a bar, and it's still like
Weird.
It doesn't look as boring.
I see. Yeah, honestly, I've always been vaguely aware of them. I'm largely indifferent towards them. I just buy Polar.
There's some good Wegmans ones.
It was very popular when it on TikTok when it first
I
came out because their branding is very unexpected.
Yeah. And again, like I said,
they like their dead billionaire.
They might be kind of big in on the joke, so I'll give them that. And again, I'm not going to avoid anything that was in this film. It's just like, it strikes me as so weird.
It's the meta angle when you're looking at it from that perspective.
It's
Because
funny,
I mean, also that was the thing that occurred to me. Because I remember when I first saw *Inglourious Bastards* and talking about it with a friend of ours, that the whole like the movie at the end that they watch, this like the Nazi propaganda movie, where you're just watching this one soldier kill 1 million people, and it's graphic, and
what a hero.
They keep cutting to the audience just laughing, and they're just entertained, like they're watching this hilarious movie, and it's just a murder movie. And then what happens after that in the movie is you're watching, the main characters come in and shoot the fuck out of Hitler, and you're supposed to get the audience is sitting there cheering that on, because fuck Hitler. But like it's like you're doing the same thing.
That's pretty good.
So I had that in mind watching this of like, we're glorying in the violence of this too. Like it's a cynical look at normalization of violence.
Yeah.
And the active participation in this case, incentivized by the rewards of observe and report or whatever. And yeah, we're also enjoying like the over the top theatrical deaths. Where it's a mirror. We're doing the same thing.
It's interesting. I only just thought of this now, but the incentivized by the observe and report, and all I can think of is that worker that turned in Luigi, and then they screwed her out of the reward.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm like the whole time I'm watching.
Yes.
And that's the thing. Like.
Wait, they did? That happened?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
Not
know
her.
that.
It was a dude.
It was a dude?
Yeah, it wasn't a worker.
Okay.
It was some.
Somebody turned.
Somebody at like McDonald's.
That's what I'd heard, but I guess that was just the initial report.
But no, I think it was a customer at McDonald's.
Okay. I'd heard worker.
But
initially.
why did they get
I
screwed out
think
of
they
the
initially
reward?
thought it was a word. Like initially the rumor spread, but it was some dude.
They found some loophole to not give it to them.
Yeah, basically like, we are already finding him or something. Like they always that always happens too.
Oh yeah.
So like as I'm watching that, I'm like, nobody actually gets that kind of money.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure in the world of the show they don't film. I'm sure most people don't see a fucking red cent.
No.
Yeah, my curiosity moments were like, at what point in in the Running Man game does Ben think he can possibly win? Like you go on this game and you're almost certainly like 99.999% going to get murdered. And you're just doing this so maybe, like, your loved ones can get the cash, right?
Well, so, I mean, I think the logic worked out for me because he goes to sign up, and he's not going in explicitly to sign up.
Yeah, he wants to do the treadmill show.
So
that looks fun.
And then they sit him down to talk, and then,
Killian sweet-talks him.
Talks him into signing the contract, but the way he convinces him is by showing you just have to survive 1 week, and it's going to change your family's life.
But then after 1 week, you're dead.
Yeah.
After 1 week, you're dead, and you don't get to
there's no talk of
this anymore.
There's no talk of you survive this week and you get to enjoy this.
And then you
survive this week and your family is taken care of.
But she's
you
still
don't
a
have to be
single mother.
But she's out of the slums.
Rich by
and
the
his daughter is healthy.
Yeah.
And I think to an extent, because Ben, not the brightest guy.
Oh,
let's be honest.
absolutely not.
he maybe kind of bought when Killian was like, I say this to everybody, but I mean it with you. You might win this. And I think, honestly, probably up until Boston, he maybe thinks he has a chance.
I mean, that's very early. That's like...
Yeah. Yeah, no, it doesn't take long. But he does
go
like a week-ish, week and a half, thinking maybe I can go the distance.
I mean, I think it makes sense, especially for someone like him.
Yes.
Who's the everyman, like
and that's why they picked him too.
Yeah, like he's just another like dude, you know, who's seen what everybody else has seen, which is spoon fed to them, and heavily edited and deep faked and all of that.
Yeah,
so he's grown up watching Sinclair Media, and now he's going onto the show thinking like just trusting things without questioning.
Yeah, like how often do you watch a game show and think I could be on that game show? That's what everyone who goes on these game shows think, and so many of them, like, there'll be like one question that's like, that's too specific a trivial question, I don't have that knowledge.
I always told myself that if I somehow
could I be on Wipeout?
Like, thing is, I know I'd never pass the auditions because I'm not enthusiastic enough in public, but like
go as a character.
That's pretty much what you have to do.
But my thought was, if I could just get on goddamn Deal or No Deal, the minute they offered me enough to cover my student loans, I'd take the deal.
Out. Yeah.
But I'm willing to bet if I got up there, I'd get caught up in the rush of it and fuck up.
Yep, exactly, yeah.
Everyone always fucks up on that
end
show.
up getting a goat somehow. Damn it.
I mean, I think what the
goat is my best friend.
The big hang up for me in that, like, in terms of how much he believes.
Yeah.
Is
because we turned him into Katniss Everdeen by the end.
Oh, sure, but like, here's the footage of your wife and child being killed. At this point, you've seen them deep fake you.
Exactly.
So how can you believe any footage that you were shown?
Angry.
Yeah, well,
the anger, I guess. Yeah,
they picked him because he's so angry.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, the auditions weren't even legit. The minute he punched that window, Killian went, "That guy's on the running man."
The minute they probably he tried to like give someone help in the queue.
Yeah.
Billy, no. Billy, be nice.
Yeah, they were already starting to eye him from there, and then once he punched that window, Killian was like, "Oh, there's my final guy this season."
Yeah.
Yeah. For a second, I wondered like how much is he like playing up the anger in his interview, but it's like why would you do that? Because you know it's going to get you stuck on Running Man, the one game you don't want to play.
Because he doesn't think. Again, like I said, he's likable but flawed, and his flaw is his anger.
I will say one thing that, you know, it's a common problem in this type of film where the hero of the film is the only good person. And
I mean, like our Boston friends.
Yeah.
And we love Michael Cera.
But like when he's waiting in line for the audition, and the guy
eyes forward, no talking.
Yeah, and like nobody else lifts a finger, and he's the only one that's doing the right thing. It just it feels very like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a manipulation.
But again, like, I'll take that over, like, this cop who's clearly been okay with everything up to this point.
Yeah, that's true.
I was like,
Yeah. Arnold, heavily underwritten.
And that's definitely playing up, like, this fact that in our heart of hearts, we all tell ourselves we'd be the one good person.
Yeah. But we'd be the other people in line who don't want to make any waves.
Yeah, because they're yelling at you, like, don't look around.
Yeah.
Don't talk to anyone.
And at this point, everybody's
mouths closed,
accustomed to a police state.
Yeah.
Like I found that scene in particular, I found believable. But your point
does stand. Yeah, that it's a little like not even one other person was like, come on, you know. So I get that.
I mean, I maybe you could have added like one other person standing near them, like going to move forward and then getting yelled at and just going back.
Yeah, at least that something.
But then he's the one that goes forward.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. But
and
I've seen
the first movie isn't immune to it either.
No,
he's the only one in the plane in the chopper, and then forgets
he also
to act.
had to get to the chopper.
Yeah.
Get to the chopper.
With as many syllables as possible. Here's my favorite note from the 2025 movie, and that's that Tom Cruise swoops in out of nowhere, because of course he does, and he's giving Powell advice on how to do the action star thing, because Tom knows. And he says, "What you do, you film yourself running because you don't look as cool as you think you do." And Powell was like, "I did it," and he's absolutely right. So really, you have to like. To run cool, you have to put thought into how you
study it.
The fact that advice came from a man who is infamous for the weird way he runs is amazing.
It's so funny.
But it is a very distinct cinematic.
Everyone knows. I may have shared it on the page ages ago when I first saw it. but because we had talked about it during Edge of Tomorrow, but like they basically worked out who taught him to do that run. It was some guy from like the 80s or 90s.
Oh, cool.
So it is a like learned run.
Mm.
But I love the idea of like, back in the day there was kind of this tradition of like Shakespeare was just done the same way for so long because you would have a master teach a younger actor, and this is just how it's done, which is why Shakespeare sounded the same until, thank God, movies came along and people were like, this sounds terrible. And I like to imagine now this idea of like this weird running style getting passed down from person to person throughout the
When we
years.
say the weird running style, what are we talking about?
Like Tom
dagger
Cruise,
hands.
like
Oh,
dagger
yeah,
hands.
Yeah.
I told you, I think probably when we talked about that movie, that I first saw that, or
In
the
Robert Patrick, yeah.
The Sandlot.
Oh,
That's where, I mean, I know they used it in Terminator 2, but in the Sandlot, the kid that runs really fast
you're
runs
right.
with the knife hand.
That's right.
And when I was little, I was like, oh,
but
that's how you run fast.
But that's the thing, it seems like this concept seems to have
Aerodynamic.
come from some actual person in Hollywood
Oh,
who's just
yeah,
been telling
that's
people to do that,
probably.
and that's amazing.
See, now you got me thinking. I happened to be in downtown Boston a few weeks ago while Donnie Wahlberg was filming something.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, it was... But, like, the sequence that everyone was gathered and had to be, like, shoot out of the way for to clear the shot was him, like, coming down... What is that? Is that Winter? That goes
Yeah,
across...
one of them.
That goes parallel to the Common?
I've lived here my whole life. I know landmarks, not street names.
Or is that Winter that goes into Summer and that crosses it? Either way, he's coming down... it was just running. It was just him running down the block from, like, the TJ Maxx to like, the corner. And...
Do you have knife hands?
I'm trying to remember if he had knife hands. He might have had knife hands.
I mean, if he was running fast,
he was
probably
doing
did.
action star running.
He should have Naruto
Also,
ran.
I keep forgetting how small he is. He's so little.
The Wahlbergs are this state's worst export.
Yeah.
But those...
Runnings man.
Runnings
men.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I did end up really having a lot of fun with the new one. Not a perfect film, but not bad. Again, nothing groundbreaking in its satire, certainly, but you can't expect that from a studio picture.
I can expect that from Edgar Wright.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
That's I think what going into this Running Man left me wanting is expecting the Edgar Wright kind of style and charm.
Yeah.
And this was a very charmless movie.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah, it was definitely like if you had told me like if I hadn't known that Edgar Wright directed it, I would not have picked up on it.
Yeah, I think
You'd see Michael Cera and be like, "Huh, this could be an Edgar Wright
here's
moment."
my thing about this movie. Whether it's better than the '87 film or not, I think is debatable because they're incomparable films. They're very different films.
They are.
But like, if you were to take all of their merits and stack them up against each other, which one is better? I still don't know. But I will say this: I do not think that in 40 years' time, people will be doing podcasts about the 2025 Running Man film.
Unless...
I do not think it's going to be...
It doesn't have that charm.
I don't think it's going to have the staying power.
Unless they do another remake, and then some podcast is comparing all three.
Yeah, but I think...
I mean, the only way I can see it happening is if, like, the future, like, dystopia that we are growing into develops in a specific way that resonates particularly with this movie.
That is the truth. But
in which case we have a ton of other media that does that. We could just watch Squid Game
but
forever.
They have in the last decade and a half. I don't know when they really started. They've Hollywood has gone about the task of like picking up all of these '80s classic action films. You know, they did RoboCop. They did a Total Recall. I'm sure there were other ones that they did, and none of them are remembered, but the originals live on, I think, in the public consciousness. And although Running Man is definitely not in the same caliber of film as Total Recall or RoboCop.
Total Recall's fucking great.
Yeah. Those are both great films. Verhoeven is king.
Yeah, Ames nailed it. The same script, same cast.
Either of the scripts.
Yeah, but especially the original, like...
Yeah.
Same script, same cast. Verhoeven would have made the '87 Sing.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many moments that are like great, but as a whole, it didn't grab me.
I think the problem in this, like in terms of the remakes like this one, even though I did enjoy this movie, is the formula Like that it's no longer we're making a film, we're making definitely not making art in a lot of ways, but they're making content.
Yeah, like our
they're not looking for
hat wearing man even tells us like there is a formula. You pick these 3 characters. This is
exactly how these kind of shows go.
We know exactly when each one will die because it's part of the formula.
Yeah, like everything, even like whether it's TV, movies, books, everything's boiled down to formula now. Like
there are no new stories.
You know, someone has run down for me like here's the formula for like your typical romance novel, and here are the things that your reader will look for that have to be there.
Yeah.
Here are the tropes you have to hit, or else
Otherwise
you really be doing it well because they're going. Yeah, exactly. Because that's not what they signed up for. This is not the comfort they tuned in for.
They're
Reality
for
TV,
paragraphs and paragraphs about nipples.
Yeah, so many nipples, but like reality TV, like. Which is what like a reality competition show, they have formula. Like now, they all follow a formula. That's why they all look the same. But it's not because they're necessarily looking to stand out. They just want you to tune in. That's it. They just want you to have something on while you're cleaning in the background. They don't care. The concept of a second screen that you're not expecting your audience to even be watching with their full attention.
Because they make their money off of the advertising.
Yeah. So like
they don't care who plays.
So they're not setting up these artful shots most of the time. They're just setting something up because you're just listening to it while you're scrolling your phone. That is what they expect of the average audience member. So like, yeah, this is and it's ironic because that's what you would expect to see in the movie world. But it's the reality of it.
It really is sad how like a lot of 80s, early 90s satire perfectly predicted where we wound up. Because you look at, like, Back to the Future Part 2, with the giant flat screen that plays 17 channels at once.
Yep, and the big Trump casino.
That can also be just scenery if you want. They actually have a scenery channel now. Like, in the movie it says, turn on the scenery channel. On my TV, when I turn it on, it says, do you want to watch the fucking scenery? They don't call it the scenery channel, but that is literally what it is. And I'm like, this isn't the part of Back to the Future 2 I wanted to be real. I wanted the fucking hover fucking skateboard.
I wanted that fruit basket.
That too.
The rehydrator.
Yeah.
The rehydrator.
That's the thing. We get all the worst shit from the satire, never the good stuff. You know, like I said, we live in a cyberpunk dystopia, but it wasn't designed by Sid Mead. It was designed by Joni Ive, who I hate, and I hope he goes to hell.
Oh, when Amelia, was that her name?
Yeah.
Yes.
The girl?
The girl on the way to Canada?
Yeah, when she showed, I don't know the actress.
She was familiar.
But,
Amelia Jones.
What I thought of her immediately when seeing her was that she looked a lot like a younger version of Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who was Ramona in Edgar Wright's Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Ah.
That like, it's like, does Edgar Wright just have a type?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every director does.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because I was like, holy shit. Like her look is very similar to.
Well, it's like I always used to joke that like you can tell that whoever the casting director was at the CW has a type because all the men have the same face and all the women have the same face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was also just thinking like, I think I really do like Scott Pilgrim. Speaking of Edgar Wright movies, I really like that movie. I think it's really well done.
Hyper stylized.
It's very stylized.
That's a fun style.
Yeah.
And it's a
living, walking comic book.
Yeah, and like I feel like that I have not read the comics, but I feel like from people that I know who have read the comics are like, the film is pretty good stylistically and in sync with the comics, but it's also very much an Edgar Wright film. You know, like you can look at that, you can put that up next to Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead, and be like, the same guy made these. I don't know that I could do that with this film. I don't know that I could do that with Last Night in Soho, for that matter, but
yeah, I'm going to admit, I think the only Edgar Wright pictures I've seen are the Cornetto trilogy.
Baby Driver's good.
Never saw Baby Driver.
It's pretty good. You have to. It's got Spacey.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's not. I was thinking of the other Gosling picture where he's a driver.
No, that's Drive.
Yeah, that's good, but that's not Edgar. Yeah. Also, fun fact: Amelia's actor's name is Amelia.
Yes. Amelia.
Amelia Jones. She's British.
Edward.
What?
Mr. E. Nigma.
So lost.
Caitlin's not even here.
I
to
know.
do that.
Oh, I have one note that I want to say in honor of Caitlin, and that's just quickly going all the way back to 1987, and we wondered like where did Amber keep that tape?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
These big vagina women are getting away with murder.
Oh no.
It's a vagina pouch.
No.
It's a so there's a Bad Women's Anatomy subreddit.
Oh God.
Or no, there's also Men Writing Women.
Good,
So
good.
I think it's shown up in both subreddits. But there is some book that like it was like some like cop, like detective story or something, and talking about like that they do
These
the
women
autopsy
hid it
on
in
her.
a pouch.
Yeah, it was some dead woman, and they're like, oh, what the autopsy? Like, oh yeah, they just she had a couple things tucked up into her vagina, just like a couple of credit cards and something else. It's like,
What?
yes, the famous vagina pouch that we all have.
Like kangaroo women?
Why are they giving away our secrets?
Amazing.
Okay, fun fact.
Will it be fun?
If you're into this kind of pointless trivia like I am,
Oh boy.
our girl Amelia played a character named Mary Gagel in an old episode of Doctor Who.
Mm.
In that same episode, David Ajala appears as a non-speaking robot man.
Is that a fun fact?
It
I
is.
mean, it's just it makes it's why we covered this
Yes,
movie,
exactly.
because
There
there's
you
a
go.
vague Star Trek connection.
There you go.
But no, she's like a major one-off character in a Doctor Who. It's like, holy shit, that was her? She was so tiny then.
Also, speaking of Brits, I did not realize that Richard Dawson was English.
Yeah, I think he
I didn't real I watched a clip of him in Hogan's Heroes. I didn't know he was on Hogan. I never made the connection that was the
Yeah,
same.
that was him.
But
I guess here's the thing. I knew he played an Englishman on Hogan's Heroes. I didn't know he was
no,
actually
he's actually
English.
born and raised in England,
Huh!
That's
and then I
interesting.
guess just stuck with an American accent.
So he was probably faking an American accent whenever
I-
we saw him.
I
over
think
there?
I think he did move to the States relatively young at
Had
some
it
point.
beaten out of him.
So he might be
But-
the case that like he's more natural as an American accent, but can also pull off a good British.
Probably when he goes
That's his
home.
native accent.
Yeah.
As if he ever like visits family back
Yeah,
home,
he
he
comes
slips
back.
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's funny. I always just assumed he
yeah,
was faking.
I
on the
would
Hogan's
not
Heroes.
clock him as having an accent.
No.
Also, the 1987 version was directed by Starsky from Starsky and Hutch.
Yes. Oh, I did
What?
write that down.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Paul Michael Glaser was Starsky.
Fun.
Yeah, I guess Schwarzenegger criticized him a lot, saying like this movie was shot more like a television show, losing all the deeper themes. And I'm like,
Interesting.
it's about television shows,
Yeah.
so I
It's
thought
Arnold.
He's also in Fiddler on the Roof, which is always
Yes, that's
weird
right.
to me.
Also, we haven't mentioned Dweezil Zappa yet.
No,
Oh,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
we have not.
Dweezil Zappa
He was
As Stevie.
the friend of Mix.
Yeah, the kid in the beret.
Mix beret.
Oh, okay,
friend.
that's who he was. All right.
Yeah.
I was wondering which one. I figured he was either him or Nerd Boy, but I wasn't sure which.
Wasn't the base in Austin Powers 2 Moon Unit? Zappa?
Yes,
Yep.
yes, it was. It was. All right, we're sort of drifting. Any
I think
final
we
thoughts
are,
from
yeah.
everyone?
I got nothing. I think, yeah. I mean, I liked both movies. I would say, and it might be my nostalgia glasses, but I still prefer, and I will probably watch the 1887 film many times before I die, hopefully. But I might watch the new one another time.
I think
This
it-
one?
Mhm.
This one I will definitely watch again. Whether or not it becomes a purchase, I don't know, because I'm definitely, even before it became clear how unstable streaming is. Like, if I really liked something, I bought it.
Buy it, yeah.
And now I'm a little quicker to buy than I used to be, but I don't know if this is a buy.
Yeah.
But I will definitely, once it's on a service I'll check it out again.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would. I was mostly unimpressed by the 2025, except for Michael Cera. How fucking dare they deprive us of Lee Pace's face for most of the fucking movie? And just I was just missing an element of that made it more memorable. Whilst the 1987 everything was memorable.
What I don't understand is why, when they were on the plane and Lee Pace broke the window and launched his chute out the window, so he was stuck in the window,
Yeah.
basically. But then, later, they opened a door on the plane and Amelia got blown out.
Mm.
But since the window was already broken, the pressure should have already been equalized between the cabin
future plane.
and so there should have been nothing. There should have been no air pressure to pull her out. So she must have jumped out. Honestly, like that's the only explanation.
Good point.
Yeah.
Unless
I sure hope someone got fired for that blunder.
But Liz, your final thoughts.
I think so. Watching the original Running Man the other day was the first time I think I've watched the whole thing from start to finish as an adult.
It's the first time I've seen it full stop.
And I think what I wasn't expecting, what I keep, what keeps surprising me when I watch these movies again, like after so many years, is this is actually like there's something about them like it's kind of a they don't make them like they used to. It's that it's a coherent, tight story, like with a like clear through line. Like there are parts where like it obviously goes off the rails in a million ways, but like there is a consistency throughout that just doesn't happen as much with like the pacing issues of like a blockbuster that has to be 2.5 hours. So and then like the original one like was definitely going for flash and charm. This one was trying to play it very straight and serious in many parts, and while also trying to make very like relevant points and not making them subtly. But I think it's because like I think for me like as I'm watching this like I was watching it and like picking it apart in my head and just thinking of it not as a movie that was made for me to watch, but made for a broader audience that has had the media literacy trained out of them. They don't get the nuance because we don't like look at our fucking education system. We can't do critical reading anymore. Like we don't know how to anymore. So it can't be subtle. Like or they're going to miss the point and they're going to think, like Rick Sanchez is like the be all end all like idol in Rick and Morty. Like they don't like they need to be spoon fed and maybe in messages like this it's good that they get spoon fed this message. Like you just need to just tell them what the problem is and maybe when he's speaking directly to the camera saying like don't believe them. Go
turn off the
TV. Go out into the world.
Look at the people who are making the money off.
Like it is hitting you over the head with the moral, but I think the broader audience needs to see that, and maybe it'll actually like be a spark for someone. One can hope because Jesus Christ, we are in a dystopia.
And that one person who does get it is going to end up on the Running Man. Oh no!
Now we lost him.
All right, my last thought, and this can be from either of the movies because they're both in both instances they're great. I want some kind of Disney ride that is going in that chute, in that tube chute thing and getting shot out somewhere.
That works.
That looks fun.
Into Richard Dawson's face.
I'm glad that both films had that.
The tube, yeah. You have to have the tube.
The tube.
I can only assume it's in the book.
It's got to be, right? Because
either that or Edgar Wright was like, we got to do the tube.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Even if it wasn't in the book, you have to concede. Like Denis Villeneuve should have conceded and had Dune Pug. I know Dune Pug isn't in the book, Denny, but come on.
The pug.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's not from the book, the one thing you have to do is keep the tube.
Yeah, the tube is good.
Even if they had to just turn it into like, all right, fine, it's the elevator, but still, he had it.
I'd be curious to read the book now, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, especially knowing that the new movie's more like it. I'm more intrigued.
The new movie is almost entirely like the same. The old movie, I guess there was a lawsuit that determined that the '87 Running Man was plagiarized from a 1983 French film that translates to The Prize of Danger, which was based on a 1958 short story, The Prize of Peril. So I guess when they realized this Running Man won't work with Arnold, let's just pick a similar story.
Oh my God.
Now I kind of want to try to find that original French movie and/or story and check those out, maybe.
Wow.
Well,
that was something fun.
Yes.
I'm glad we watched both of those movies.
No, it's been great to finally see, again, it didn't work for me, but I still love that we did this. I love finally seeing it. I had fun with the new one.
We're going to have to make Caitlin watch at some point, because I'm sad she couldn't be here today.
I think she'd appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Liz.
Yes, thank you for being our fourth.
It's a pleasure. Next week, we're going to be talking about some Star Trek Discovery. I have no idea what, but...
Stormy weather!
Stormy weather. So the two of us can do us together. Zoo-doo-doo, baby closer to me. Zoo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-boopy. Okay.
It's very different seeing what you have to watch.
Oh, because there's
in
also a
person than
dance.
listening
Yeah.
to it,
There's
yeah.
You
always a
can't
dance.
hear the dance, but
No.
there's usually a dance.
There's always a dance. Why wouldn't there be? Yeah, so that's next time on our show. Until then, you can catch up with all of our backlog of podcasts on the internet. SoundCloud, as well as Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, and any place else you can find a podcast.
We've covered lots of the Verhoeven movies that we kept
We sure
referring
have,
to.
yeah. So go check out our Total Recall or our Batman.
Nope.
That wasn't for...
RoboCop.
Verhoeven's Batman. Would that have
That would
worked?
be something.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's so violent.
It would.
I would be into it. Or our Starship Troopers, which we didn't talk about today, but is another Verhoeven film. That
Check
we
it
did.
out.
But anyway, yeah, and as always, you can catch us up on Blue Sky, SSHB Podcast, or Tumblr, SSHB Podcast, or search for us on Facebook, A Star to Steer by the podcast. Until then, my name has been Jake.
This has been Chris.
This has been Ames.
And this is Liz.
Hey, Killian, here's your running man. Now, plane man.
Perfect. Tom Cruise, that's random.
Also Small Man.
Yeah, famously.
That's why he's so dense with Thetans.
Oh, my God.
Dense with Thetans. No, that's good.